Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, our first story comes from Either Ambassador 54, and just to give you a warning, there is mentions of a car accident within the story, so if you do want to skip it, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are always down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. And it's titled, Am I the Arsehole for just deciding not to travel because my wife made reservations for Disney again? It starts. My wife Jess and I have been married for 13 years. We're both 39. After experiencing financial hardship throughout our 20s and early 30s, Jess and I are now fortunate enough to have the means to travel once or twice a year. The only problem is that Jess literally only wants to go to Disney World. We've been to Disney 9 times now, and every vacation we have ever taken was to go there, including our honeymoon. So we go. We eat the Mickey Mouse ice cream, we wear the Mickey Mouse ears, we stay in the official hotels, we see the characters, we ride the rides, we take pictures in front of Cinderella's castle, and we come home. Every trip. I'm honestly beyond sick of Disney, and I never really liked going in the first place. Jess knows this, but she has no concept of travel beyond Disney. We're currently planning a trip for April, and Jess, as usual, said that we can just go to Disney. I explained that it sounds fun, but hey, why don't we go somewhere like Hawaii this time? Jess was confused. She asked why we would go to Hawaii. I responded that we could enjoy the spas and go to the beach. Jess mumbled a half-hearted answer and walked away. A few days later, she approached me saying that she made hotel reservations for Hawaii. At first, I was excited because although she did it without consulting me, it seemed like she was really listening. But then she showed me the hotel she booked. I found she made reservations for Aulani, the Disney resort in Hawaii. Apologies if I got that pronunciation wrong. Frustrated, I told her that I'm honestly tired of Disney and that I just want to have a different experience this time. She told me that she was compromising with me and that I should be appreciative for the time she spent. I asked her if she's willing to consider anything other than Disney for our trip, and she said no. At this point, I said I wasn't going. Now, she's furious. She cancelled the reservation she made, and now she's looking for a friend to go to Disney World again without me. Was I the arsehole here for not trying to accommodate her request? A compromise? Come on. That's not a compromise, it's just Disney in a different location. And now you're being punished because you don't want to go by threatening to go without you, you know. Kind of pet me, said, just continue to book Hawaii, but do what you want. Go solo. I mean, she's doing it right. But in the end, let's face it, that's not going to solve anything within your relationship. Probably just going to cause more distance between you. If you want to solve anything, of course. But yeah, 13 years of that, I would be fed up as well. Look, I've never been to Disney. I personally know a couple that goes every year to Florida. They absolutely love it. They go every single time. Really enjoy it. But that's them as a couple. They both love doing it. For me, I think I would like to experience it once just to see all the characters and all that sort of stuff, a few of the rides, etc. But you know, I think it would also send my anxiety over the top with crowds and stuff. Oh, it drives me mad, that kind of thing. But in the end, this isn't about compromise. This is about control from her end. But someone said to the OP, how the fuck did this go on for 9 trips without you saying something? I'd have gone mad after going a second time. Another commenter says, for fuck's sake, does she realize there's a whole non-Disney World out there? And it's much less expensive with shorter lines. The commenter says, however, you should also consider being more truthful with your wife. If you can't even be truthful to your wife, who can you be truthful with? It obviously did not sound fun at all to you, so just be clear on that. In fact, the second time she booked the Disney trip, you should have been honest with her and suggested something else. Another commenter says at 39, it might be time to consider broadening her horizons and embracing more of what the world has to offer. Life is too short to spend solely between home and Disney, and there's so much out there waiting to be explored. Opie updated a week later and said about a week ago, I made a post about an argument my wife Jess and I had, and then adds a TLDR about what happened, which we'll just skip over that because we just read it. Here's the update. I screwed up. I know most people were giving me the not the arsehole judgment, but Jess actually showed a great deal of openness to my idea. She took initiative by reserving the hotel because she wanted me to be happy. When I said nope, no Disney, she felt that I hadn't put any effort into taking her feelings into consideration. And she was completely right. I hadn't. It was, in a twisted way, my form of revenge for dragging me to Disney World all those times. In the last post, some people commented about how Aulani barely even looks like a Disney resort at all. This is something I should have researched myself before I threw the gauntlet down with Jess. When I looked into it, it looks like a run-of-the-mill Hawaiian resort. In my defense, going to Disney World 9 times has kind of made me sensitive, and I'm fairly sure that on a Rorschach test I'd seen nothing but mouse and ears at this point. But I really should not have jumped to conclusions. A day after I made the post, I approached Jess and apologized. I was wrong. Yes, she might be a Disney adult, but aside from always wanting to go to their theme parks, she's never obnoxious about it. I said I was sorry, and asked for permission to reserve the hotel again. And Jess responded she'd love to go to Aulani with me. When I told her that it's not really all that Disney, Jess said, of course I knew that. I wanted to go because my sister said it was beautiful. I'm a moron. Jess and I have replanned our vacation, and we're super excited to be going now. I came to this realization because a lot of people pointed out some things I should have figured out myself. Thank you. The commenters said on this one, man, did you get gaslit? 9 fucking vacations in a row to Disney. Did she take your feelings into account any of those 9 times? Nope. Another commenter says, what do you mean she's never been obnoxious about it? She dragged you to Disney 9 times in your marriage. Ignoring your communicating that you wanted to go somewhere else. When you put your foot down, she scheduled the 10th Disney vacation, just at a different Disney location. Is this even OP? Did she tie you up and gag you with Mickey Mouse ears, typing on your account? Because her behavior is not okay, and a 10th Disney trip when you said no more Disney is zero compromise on her part. You need to be extracted. And another commenter says, this update actually makes me sad. I'm sure Aulani is lovely, but Jess still is not considering your feelings, and you still aren't standing up for yourself. You need to communicate respectfully, calmly, and like adults. Maybe this is a good bridge to less Disney-centric vacations. Maybe not, but unless you communicate your frustrations, you're going to be going to something Disney-themed next time too. I had a brief Google after that last update just to see what this Aulani, again, pronunciation, I do apologize, just to see what it's all about, and it does look like a more holiday resorty type place. I don't know the ins and outs of it. There might be Mickey Mouse running around doing backflips and shit, but I don't know. But again, it did leave me with mixed feelings after that update. We have another update in a second, by the way. And that last comment there was just spot on for me, that it just felt like, well, next time it's just going to be another Disney themed something. Is there another Disney themed something? Or will it be back to the park again because she didn't enjoy that one as much? And again, if you don't want to go, she just take her friend instead. You know, it's a no-win for you at this moment in time, in my opinion. But OP comes in with what they call their final update and says, hi again, everybody. This situation all started because my wife Jess and I had an argument about going to Disney World on vacation again. I didn't want to go because we'd already been 9 times, and when I suggested Hawaii, Jess made reservations for Aulani, which is a Disney-owned resort. I immediately rejected this idea, mistakenly believing it was just another Disney vacation. Eventually I realized that I was wrong and that Aulani was a perfectly fine compromise. Unfortunately, we will still not be going to Aulani for our upcoming vacation. A couple of days after Christmas, Jess had a minor car accident. She mistook drive for reverse and backed into our garage door. When I heard the loud bang, I ran outside and I found Jess holding her neck in the car. I immediately drove her to the hospital, where she got x-rays done. She seemed fine, but the doctor said that based on her symptoms, headache, neck pain, numbness in her fingers, she could have whiplash. Jess and I figured that she'd be fine in a couple of days, but almost 2 weeks later she is still complaining about the back pain. Yesterday she approached me, saying that she wasn't confident she could go to Hawaii in a few months. I asked what she wanted to do, and while apologizing profusely, she asked me if we could postpone that trip. I responded that she had absolutely nothing to apologize for. After that, she said that she felt bad about not being able to go to Hawaii, but she might be able to make it to Disney World. No way. While I didn't understand at first, she told me it has a very high accessibility and, in a worst case scenario, ECV rentals. She doubts that will be necessary, but assured me that we could take it easy there. I know that this isn't the conclusion people here wanted, and it's certainly not what I wanted to do with my next vacation. but Jess's health has to come first here. We've made our reservations. It's not where I want to go, but Jess is super happy right now, and that's what matters most to me. Thank you for your support." The top commenter said to OP on this one, "A resort is infinitely more relaxing and easier than Disney, even for non-injured people. I think you got played, buddy. Disney adults be scheming." Another commenter says, "Damn, she's good. A master manipulator. Time to get out, bro, or you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life." Another commenter says, "She literally did that on purpose. You keep getting sucked into it and will always get sucked into it because you have no backbone. Good luck with the rest of your life. You just know by some miracle that her neck's going to be fine when that vacation to Disney World comes around, right? Holy shit, that is madness." But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Gee whiz. Now, our next story comes from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit from NoRegular5398, and it says, "Am I the arsehole here for not wanting to sign something from my wife's employer without speaking to a lawyer? Sorry if this is long. I usually don't post on Reddit, but a friend suggested I do for advice. For a few years, my wife has been working hard to make a go of being a VTuber streamer. She has made her own little character, got a bit of a following, and ended up getting another character to stream as with a talent agency that specializes in that. I'm vaguely familiar with this. I know there are massive agencies. I don't think hers is a very popular or big agency, although it does have a large following online. So far it's been going really well. She's been able to make it a full-time job and seems really happy with everything. I am too, and am immensely proud of her knowing the level of dedication she's put into it. About a month ago, I got a weird email from someone claiming to be with this agency. I didn't even notice it at first. It went to my spam box, was worded weirdly, and something seemed off about it. So I didn't pay any mind to it. I figured it was spam because I'm subscribed to my wife everywhere possible and the talent agency. However, I then got another one and another one asking me to respond as soon as I can. The TLDR of the email is they want me to sign a legal agreement that says I won't represent myself as wife's VTuber character or wife's actual legal name, romantic partner in any online or in-person event capacity, and B, in the event we were to split up, I'd be forbidden from revealing any information regarding a breakup or divorce to protect her anonymity and identity. I read through the legal agreement and it appears to have been done by an actual lawyer and everything. I was frankly dumbfounded. As I mentioned, I'm only vaguely familiar with the world of VTubers and anime streamers, so I understand how the majority of VTubers keep their identities hidden, and that there is an element of purity in this sort of idle stuff that would cause fans to be disillusioned, which honestly seems so stupid. That said, I know some comments on streams and videos have connected a new character to her old one. She never hid her identity on her old one, but never went out of her way to show it. What I'm trying to say is that if someone did a handful of Google searches, finding who my wife is, or at least looks like, isn't exactly an impossibility. When I got home from work, I brought it up to my wife. I could tell she knew it was coming, and was being avoidant of talking about it. I asked if she had some concern that I was going to go online and just dox her, but she said it was just how this industry works. I remembered a time a couple of weeks ago, I posted a few photos of us on Twitter, where I have less than 100 followers, and she seemed kind of panicky asking me to take them down because she didn't like how she looked, or how she kept loudly mentioning or randomly interjecting about reading how locking accounts or making them super private was really good for security. She had locked/deleted some of her personal accounts at this time too. Long story short, she told me to sign it, and that it was more of a formality to make her employment smoother. The thing is, this is a legal agreement. It's been drafted up by, as far as I can tell, a legitimate law office that represents this talent agency. There are other clauses in this agreement that I won't go into, but are frankly as ridiculous as the two I mentioned. I admitted I'd be happy to help her if it'd make things easier, but I wanted to speak to a lawyer first before signing anything just to be safe. We argued about it a bit, and I think she saw where I was coming from when I asked why I was the only one who had to sign anything. What about friends, family, past employers, teachers, ex-boyfriends, etc.? She kinda huffed about it, but said I could see a lawyer, but to book it fast, she didn't want it to be some big delay. She was quite cold with me for the next few days. For example, I faked sick to stay home one day to make us dinner because our streaming time overlaps with when I'm home, so we haven't had many meals together since she started. I told her it was ready and she asked me to put it in the fridge because she had to prep for a collaboration stream. She's also sent me a couple of texts as she's streaming reminding me to be quiet or suggesting I go hang out with friends or something else until she's done. I got a little fed up with the treatment and finally asked if she was being pissy with me because I didn't sign it. And she said, "What do you think?" Yes, obviously. I asked her what she would do if my job legally demanded she put down in writing what her job is asking of me. She said I would sign it. I wouldn't stand in the way of your dreams. I asked if she genuinely thought I was standing in the way of her dreams. That really hurt to hear, considering the amount of love and time I've given her towards this. The encouragement, the hours I've spent reassuring her she's talented and does a good job, and frankly the thousands upon thousands of dollars I've helped her for equipment, commissioning artists, etc. She rolled her eyes and huffed, so I asked again, and she shouted, "If you don't sign it, then yes, because they're already being weird with me and passing me over for certain opportunities, and I know it's because you haven't signed it yet. I have a meeting with a lawyer next week to go over it, but I'm getting pretty guilt-tripped by her and her parents for not blindly signing it. Our friend group is split down the middle, but the general consensus is it would just be easier to sign it to make her happy. I don't think it's unreasonable to want to consult a legal professional over a legal document, but maybe I'm not that good. But maybe I'm not that good of a husband after all. So am I the arsehole here for wanting to consult with a lawyer over this?" So Resident says to OP, not the arsehole, the fact that she knew about it but didn't sit down and talk to you first indicates that she isn't to be trusted in this matter. You need your own lawyer. She should have her own lawyer as well, not just trust someone who works for her agency. JD Yang says, "Yes, all of this, and she still hasn't had a sit-down conversation with you about why she wants you to sign it, and what the consequences for her are if you don't. You need this information because my response would be, what's in it for me? I'm signing away my rights, and there is nothing in this contract to tell me how signing away my rights is of any benefit to me, so I'm good without signing it. Bottom line, the only person not benefiting from this is you. So the onus is on your wife and her company to convince you to sign it. Giving you the silent treatment isn't really convincing. Tell her all of this and ask her why you would sign something you don't benefit from without her even talking to you about it. You don't even know why she wants you to, much less why her company does." Kat says, "A contract isn't valid without consideration, something of value from each party. What consideration is being offered to OP?" Jumrick says, "Not the arsehole. Never sign a legal document without getting legal advice. Never, never, never. Even if you think you understand the plain meaning of each clause, you don't have the training to grasp the full legal ramifications. A lawyer does. This is a lifetime commitment. It contains clauses relating to how you can act even after a divorce. I'm concerned that your wife didn't raise this with you in advance. I think you're looking at her with rose-colored spectacles, which is understandable. If she knew this was something that the agency wanted you to sign, she should have given it to you herself and given you the time to get it checked. Instead, she's rushing you to sign it right now, like a used car salesman saying the price is only good for 10 minutes. Seriously, if you didn't get a lawyer to read this for you, you'd be an idiot, and be mentally prepared to push back on elements of it. There may be parts of it that are simply unacceptable." Kat says, "Not the arsehole. The more desperate other people are for you to sign something without talking to a lawyer first, the more you need to talk to a lawyer first. Your wife is being a massive asshole by pressuring you to do something that could cause you a massive problem later on. You're being asked, coerced to giving legal binding indefinite undertakings no recompense, with unspecified, unlimited damages and legal costs being raised against you. That would be a big fat no from me." So OP comes back into it 2 months later and says, "I know it wasn't a super popular post, but I logged on and saw quite a few DMs and comments asking for an update. The TLDR is that my wife joined a VTuber agency. Agency asked me to sign a legal document. I wanted to see a lawyer first, but it caused a bit of a rift in the relationship. To answer a lot of people, yes, I saw a lawyer. It was an interesting meeting. The lawyer read through the whole thing with a smirk and said, the only benefit of signing this would be keeping your wife happy. I wouldn't personally sign it, but if you do, and it comes to it, please let me represent you because this is hilarious. She said there's no way it would hold up in court, especially because if the law firm who represents them decides to sue me for breaching it, they'll have to reveal my wife's identity in court documents, which will most likely be public anyway. Instead, she contacted them on my behalf, seeking clarification on what happens if any part of the agreement is broken, as it's not stipulated, and if I'm to sign the agreement, what sort of compensation I would receive. I didn't sign it in the end, but have told my wife once the lawyer hears back and they recommend it, I would. As of writing this post, they haven't responded, and frankly, it hasn't seemingly affected my wife's VTubing career. Things with my wife are still pretty rocky. To address a couple of comments, she does actually earn quite well off streaming, donations, subs, etc. Slightly less than she was making at her previous job, but enough to still contribute to the household and live comfortably. That said, she won't speak to me about it anymore though. She's fine otherwise, but if I ask her how things are, I get a brush off, a fine, or occasionally, you don't care, you don't have to keep asking. I'm still rooting for her, and she's still growing every time I check her channels or social medias. She's doing streaming events and collaborations with other VTubers. She seems happy with it all, and that's enough for me. I know her last job was soul crushing, and she's worked really hard. If she wants to be cold with me about it, that's her call. I'm just happy she's doing something she loves. That's it. Boring update, I know. Sorry. Jude Twist says, glad her VTubing career is thriving, but maybe she should collab with a relationship counselor next. iShip says, I found it so sad that you're so happy for her, support her and care for her, when she seems to see you like a burden at best. Quiet Moon says, Opie's next post will be about her asking for divorce or something similar. Warzone says, I'm sorry, but your marriage is almost certainly dead. Holy moly. Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Many people saying they can only see divorce coming in this one, but what do you guys think? Just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. A, B, C,